Thank you, Piyush. Next we have Kunal on his report. Abhishek is his evaluator.
Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Let us imagine the following scenario. You are at a business networking function or a social gathering and you meet someone whom you would like to know better. It could be a potential client, a future business contact, or someone whom you would like to date. You move forward, going back and forth, taking turns, asking questions, telling stories, and generally trying to make a good impression on that person. But at some point in the conversation though, you realize that you are struggling hard to keep the conversation going. At end, the conversation dies and fizzles out, and you don't know what to ask next or what to inquire next. How many of you can agree that what I am saying here? I think we all can. But the good news is that today we are going to learn some simple techniques. By applying those, we can learn how to keep the conversation going. Believe me, it is very easy. All that is needed is to ask the right kind of questions. When it comes to questions, basically there are two kinds of questions. First, closed-ended questions. Second, open-ended questions. Closed-ended questions generally prompt people to give small, concise answers. They may be a simple yes or a simple no. An example of a closed-ended question could be, "Isn't it a beautiful evening outside today?" To which all of you will reply in a monosyllable. When I used to go in some business gathering, I used to ask a lot of closed questions in a row. And when I did that, it seemed that I am interrogating somebody. So I would like to show you how a conversation would have gone when I learned the new technique and the effective technique. So Sakshi, can I borrow you for a minute? Hi Sakshi, how are you?
I am good.
So have you been coming to Toastmasters for a while now?
Yes.
You like it?
Yes.
On which project you are working on?
Yes.
And on which Toastmasters project are you working on?
P2.
P2. Okay, so how many of you think that this conversation is pretty forgettable? Thank you, Sakshi. I believe that closed-ended questions are like riding a bicycle. When you ride a bicycle, you need two things: balance and momentum. And when you ask a lot of closed questions in a row, you basically try to slow things down. And what becomes that you feel it difficult in balancing the cycle. Closed-ended questions does not give you the push that we need to keep the conversation going. And to use that and to gain the push, we must ask open-ended questions. Open-ended questions generally prompt people to give long answers. When you ask long open-ended questions, people will generally wait, think, and then reply. An example of a closed open-ended question could be, "I don't think Sachin Tendulkar is a good batsman. Do you think?" I think this question will go for a debate. I'd like to show you the scenario when I would have asked open-ended questions, how would the conversation would go. So Sakshi, please. Hi Sakshi, how are you?
I am good.
So have you been coming to Toastmasters for a while now?
Yeah, quite a bit.
So do you like this Toastmasters?
Of course, it's a great setup.
And what exactly really in Toastmasters attracted you?
Basically, it's a great social setup, where we can meet people and meanwhile having a social gathering, we can room up our communication skills.
Thank you, Sakshi. A round of applause for Sakshi. You see the difference? When you ask open-ended questions, the people get involved into you and you can easily communicate. What I believe that conversation is like riding a merry-go-round on which we used to play when we were a kid. We used to hold on to it, somebody will give you a spin and you will hold on to it. So open-ended questions are generally those push that is required to keep the ball rolling. So far we have talked about closed-ended questions and open-ended questions. One thing that is more important is asking the right set of questions at the right time. Most of you don't know why I am here today in Infosys. This is because I asked a right question, right open-ended question at the right time to my interviewer. At the time of my college placement, I was really enjoying my college interview, the campus interview. At the end of the interview, the interviewer asked, "Do you want to ask something from me?" At that amount of time, I would have asked about my salary package or MP training or anything else. But luckily, I asked, "Why you have come to take us? Since the first round of interview, you have not asked even a single technical question from us, and being a BTech graduate, so whatever questions you have asked would have been answered by a simple science graduate or an arts graduate. Then why ask?" She looked at me for a while, and then she narrated me about the training process at Infosys, what Infosys expects from us and all that stuff. When she finished, we have already discussed for almost 50 to 1 hour of the interview. When I was leaving from the room, she called me and said that, "You are the only guy today who has asked this question from me. Hope to see you at Infosys soon." And so finally, here I am. This does not mean that we should not ask closed-ended questions. We should try to blend closed-ended question technique and open-ended question technique together and to develop the ability to keep the conversation going. And when we develop this ability, we automatically develop the ability to get into relationship, and hence we'll get more friends, more business acquaintances, and our life will become richer. I hope by applying this technique and learning from this technique, we all will move one step closer to the life we all want. Toastmasters.